Hello YouTube, I'm Zach. You're watching ZakDtv. Thanks for stopping into your place for interesting news from around the net. Today we are going to talk about that internet privacy bill that just got killed, what it means for you, and how to protect yourself from it. We're also going to talk about a Ferrari theft. We're going to talk about an upgrade to Google Street Views. We're going to talk about the first launch of one of those reusable rockets done by SpaceX, and LED screens instead of projectors. Let's get right into this. So you've probably heard by now, our politicians have voted down a bill that was put in place during the last administration that kept our internet service providers from collecting our personal information. Now, everything that you transmit is theirs for the taking. They can dig information out of anything they want that you put through their wires. Now, I mean, this includes like financial information, social security numbers, health information, all your searches. Even using that incognito search won't stop them. Your app usage, your contents of your texts and your emails. This will all become available to any business that wants to buy it and any law enforcement that wants to look into it. Because of this, there is a website. I love this idea. This guy started a website up that wants to go ahead and buy our politicians' private browsing histories. Yep, he wants to buy everything he can on these people and make it public. Because you know what? They did it to us. We didn't have a say in it. So at very least, these people's information should be out there for everyone. The website is really easy. It's searchinternethistory.com. He is fundraising right now, trying to get it off the ground because you do have to pay for this information. But go ahead and check it out. I'm going to throw a link in the description so you can look at it later. Finish watching my video first. What this really ends up being is you don't get an option to opt in anymore. You are by default opted in to them gathering your information. How you can protect yourself from this though? As of right now, you can call your cable providers. You can call your internet providers. Call your cell phone providers. Because remember, this is your cell phone usage too. Get a hold of them. Go online. Go on their websites. And make sure you set all your privacy settings as high as possible. You do not want anyone else looking at your stuff. You can, in fact, opt out basically. But as of right now, there's no single checkbox to be like, oh, I opt out. Doesn't exist, so it's a little bit of work, but do it now. Don't wait, because everything you put out from now until the time you opt out is theirs for the taking. Another way to do this would be to use end-to-end encryption. There's a lot of apps out there that allow you to send texts that are encrypted that can't be picked up by anybody. True, your ISP would be able to see what you're sending, they just would not be able to translate it and understand it. They'd see a bunch of data, but they wouldn't know what it says without the keys to unlock it. Your final and most safe way about this, because there's no guarantee that they're not going to put in that we can't opt out. Okay, that's a very real possibility. Your safest bet here is a VPN. It's a virtual private network. There's a lot of free ones out there. I don't trust them. I'm not going to suggest them to you. Do your research. Make sure you look into who you're trusting as a VPN because they can get your information too. There are paid ones out there, and their whole model is internet privacy. So I'd really have to think they're going to be pretty good about securing your information, but at the same time, do your research and go with someone you trust. A side note on this story, I want to bring up, make sure to contact your congressman, make sure to contact your senators. Get on the phone, get on the internet right now. The next battle coming up is net neutrality. And if we lose that battle, then we're all screwed. That's where they can actually meter what websites have what performance. They could charge places like Netflix more money in order to use their connections to your house. It's truly unfair, and it basically decides what sites you can and cannot visit. Watch out for that one. Make sure to let your politicians know we are not okay with that. Start a campaign right now. All right, up next, I want to talk about a Ferrari theft. Maybe it's the Ferrari theft. I don't know how you want to look at this. Police in Italy have stopped what they're calling a kidnapping plot. To me, it's more of a theft. But Enzo Ferrari, the founder of Ferrari, who has the namesake on one of their most awesome cars, he died in 1988 at the age of 90. A gang in Italy named Anonima Sequestri, they're actually known for kidnappings of living people, decided that they wanted to steal his corpse and ransom it back to the Ferrari factory or the Ferrari family. It's a hell of an idea, I'll give them that. They were actually found by an investigation being done into gun and drug trafficking, which they also have a large part in that, and police came across this plot during the raids that they performed on these people. It's kind of neat too. When they raided the group, they used over 300 officers and paratroopers. Yup, they had cops raining from the skies to get these people. In the long run, with all that manpower, they only caught 34 of these people, but they did put an end to the plot to steal Enzo Ferrari's remains. So, good job, Italian police. You saved the corpse of an icon. Well, I told you we were going to talk about an upgrade to Google Street View, and it's called Sheep View. Now, there has been a Sheep View project going on for a while where people wanted you to report wherever you saw sheep. Kind of neat, kind of cool, you know, whatever. This one takes place on the Faroe Islands, up in the North Atlantic between Iceland and Norway. It's a small chain of about 18 islands. It's one of those places where Google just wasn't going to do Street View. So Visit Faroe Islands, that's the department that handles Faroe Island tourism, decided to take it into their own hands and get some Street View of their islands. Did they take a car and mount a camera to it? No, why would they do that? This is an island that has 50,000 people and about 80,000 sheep. They went the smart way. They strapped solar-powered cameras on the backs of their sheep and let them roam. Now, of course, at this point, it wasn't an official Google project, so the islands decided they were going to start a petition to get Google involved. It caught Google's eye. They thought the idea was sheer genius. That's a direct quote. So they sent the people of Faroe Island a whole bunch of those 360 cameras so they could put them on sheep and kayaks and everything else and get a good street view of everything on the island. Now, of course, you're getting on-road, off-road, all that kind of stuff, but still, it's just kind of cool. Now, Google is working on it, and if you want to see the Faroe Islands in sheep view, it's coming soon. So make sure to check it out and see what the sheep see. For my next story, I think I'm going to start sounding like a fangirl or something here. I'm always talking about Elon Musk. When the guy quits doing awesome shit, I'll quit talking about him. His next big piece of awesome is tomorrow. Great day for space flight all over the world. Another Falcon 9 is going to blast off. The big thing about this is it's the first one to ever be reused. SpaceX has safely landed 8 of these so far. 7 of them are theoretically going to get reused for launches. They're keeping one outside their center. Just, it's a big trophy, you know. On tomorrow's flight, they're going to launch the SES-10 communication satellite. It's built by a company in Luxembourg. It's to provide internet and cellular communications to South America. This thing is a go as of right now. They've been doing test fires, and it's planned to launch between 6 o'clock and 8:30 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. So check NASA, check around the net. You might be able to see the first reused rocket go into space live. Now I'm going to wrap this up with something not as spectacular, but still pretty big news. This comes from Samsung. You know them because their phones, their televisions, their monitors, stuff like that. Well, they are taking a leap here. Their next step is into theater screens. Yup, they want to take on the projection industry with a 34-foot. You thought that 70-inch you got in your living room was big? This is a 34-foot 4K LED screen. Single monitor. The thing's gigantic. Even though that is huge, it's not as big as your standard movie screen. I think that's, 45 to 65 feet. IMAX is as big as 72 feet. So this is a small scale theater, but it can also be used in a lot of applications where you can't get the bigger screens in, like a small local theater or stuff like that. I don't know why nobody's ever thought of this before. We just must not have had the technology to really make it happen. We are at a point where these screens are getting so thin and even flexible now, so it'll probably be a lot easier to install. You gotta wonder what this will do for maintenance though, because I hate it when I get one dead pixel. Could you imagine if you catch a dead pixel on a 34-foot tall screen? That's going to be hell for repair work. With that, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for stopping in. Remember, if you want more news like this Monday through Friday, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Share me with your friends. It'd really help me grow. Today is Wednesday, so I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll see you guys then. Be safe.